What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Behind Show. In this video, I want to be doing a Cincinnati Bengals 7-round mock draft. Obviously, I do, Cincinnati Bengals mock drafts every week. I do one every Sunday, and we are live on YouTube right now. And I'm going to be doing a Bengals mock draft because I'm doing a mock draft of every single NFL team. I just got done just a little bit ago doing a Atlanta Falcons 7-round mock draft, so make sure to go check that out. So we'll be doing a Cincinnati Bengals 7-round mock draft now. So we will go ahead here and get started with the fifth pick of the draft. I have the Bengals taking LSU receiver Jamar Chase. Obviously he spent time with Joe Burrow at LSU. He's really a fan favorite pick here. Him and Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell was not available, so I had them taking Jamar Chase. I like Jamar Chase a lot. I would have no issues if the Bengals would decide to take him. But at the same time, to me, depending what you can get if you trade back, I would honestly not mind that at all. Personally, I really, really, really like Kyle Pitts. If you could trade back to like 8, I know it's risky. You can get like a second-round pick or something like that and still get Kyle Pitts. I would kind of prefer that over Jamar Chase. But like I said, it is extremely risky because the Eagles are a team to watch out for Kyle Pitts because, Zach Ertz, there's rumors that he may be cut. And, Jamar Chase, if it's not Pitts, it'll be Chase. One of those two guys will get picked by the Eagles at 6. So it is really, really risky trading back. But depending if Chase and Sewell would both be gone in this scenario, which I really, really doubt will happen, I would really like for the Bengals to trade back here. But Jamar Chase there at number 5, I think that's a good pick. You have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. That's the best young trio of wide receivers in the NFL, definitely. So Jamar Chase at number 5 in the first round. In the second round, to me, this is a fantastic pick. This is probably best case scenario for the Bengals in the second round if they don't take offensive lineman in the first round. Wyatt Davis, the guard from Ohio State. This is also, this is more than likely assuming we don't sign Joe Thuney or Brandon Sheriff from Washington. But there are reports, possibly we may actually get Joe Thuney, but this is kind of scenario. We don't get Thuney. We get Wyatt Davis, the guard from Ohio State in the second. Davis is probably the best guard, in the draft. We love drafting Ohio State players. We've never drafted, any other players from a university more than we have from Ohio State. It seems like we draft one every single year. To me, Wyatt Davis would probably start day 1. You have Jamar Chase who would start day 1. Those are two, starters already just in the first 2 rounds. So that's a great pick there, especially since we didn't get Sewell. Wyatt Davis is probably the best option in the second round. We go to the third round here. Dillon Radunz, I think I pronounced that wrong, from North Dakota State, to tackle. More than likely he would start at right tackle, or maybe left tackle, just depends. But he would start day 1. You have him, Wyatt Davis, and Jamar Chase. In the first 3 rounds, you have 3, day 1 starters. That is just absolutely crazy, and that's really, really good. You're drafting players early, and they're getting plenty of playing time early as well. He was phenomenal at North Dakota State. Blocking Trey Lance, the quarterback. He was really, really good there. One of the better offensive tackles in the draft. He would be drafted maybe even in the first round or early second if it wasn't for him playing at a smaller school. But let's see here. So far we have Jamar Chase, Wyatt Davis, and Dillon Radunz from North Dakota State. In the 4th round, we have corner from Michigan, Ambry Thomas. The Bengals are going to need corner more than likely, regardless of what happens to William Jackson, because he's going to want a lot of money, And, Mackenzie Alexander is a free agent. He played pretty well for the Bengals, but he'll probably want a pay increase. And also, Darius Phillips is a free agent 1 year from now. So let's say you do re-sign William Jackson, but you don't re-sign Mackenzie Alexander. You're already losing one corner. And, if you don't sign Darius Phillips next season, you're only down to one of those three guys. I think Ambry Thomas in the fourth round would be a really nice pickup. He had the highest PFF rating in 2019 when he played, higher than Jeffrey Okudah, who was drafted third overall to the Lions this past season from Ohio State. Let's see here. Thomas, I really, really like him. He opted out of the season, but I would really, really like him. Thoughts on Rondale Moore? I wouldn't mind him in the second round, but to me, if we went wide receiver in the second round, I would prefer. It would be between Rondale Moore or Terrence Marshall. I'd be happy with either one of those guys, but more than likely, I think we go Terrence Marshall, kind of with the connection with Joe Burrow. But if we got like Penei Sewell, or traded back, or even Kyle Pitts, and we got Rondale Moore in the second, I'd be really happy with that. But honestly, I don't know if he's even going to make it to the second round, because I think a team like the Packers may draft him, because I think wide receivers going to go earlier than some people think. Because let's say a month ago, we kind of thought Kadarius Stoney may be there in the second round. To me, he's going to be a top 20 pick right now. I think it's when it's all said and done. Kadarius Toney will be a top 15 pick, and since Toney being so early, I think that's going to boost the stock up for Terrence Marshall and Rondale Moore. So I really don't know if Rondale Moore or Terrence Marshall will even be there. But if we don't go wide receiver in round one, I wouldn't mind Moore or Terrence Marshall. But realistically, I think Terrence Marshall is more likely to happen. So as we go to the fifth round here, we take defensive tackle Marvin Wilson. Defensive tackle is a much bigger issue and need than people think. We have DJ Reader, and that's it. Literally, that is literally it. That's all we have. Who's better than average or average even? And he just came off a season-ending injury. Geno Atkins is going to get cut. It's just crazy. A year ago now, a year ago around this time, we had DJ Reader and Geno Atkins, and we were talking about how we had a phenomenal defensive tackle duo, one of the best ones in the league. Geno Atkins had one tackle this past season, and now he's going to get cut. DJ Reader just played a couple of games, and he was already out for the year. Defensive tackle and edge rusher is a big need for the Bengals, because we really don't have many people under contracts. Xavier Williams is a free agent. Marcus Hunt's a free agent. I wouldn't mind if we sign those guys back for super cheap, but those are not impact players at all. Those are depth signings. Those are guys who may get you a sack or two, but that's literally going to be about it. Marvin Wilson, the defensive tackle from Florida State, to me, I think would be a really good pick here. Also, Jalen Tallman from Pittsburgh, if he's there in the fifth, kind of reminds me a little bit of Geno Atkins. Either one of those guys I would be really, really happy with, but I'm not sure if Tallman will be there in the fifth, and not even sure if Marvin Wilson will be here in the fifth either. But I would be really, really happy if we got one of those guys in the fifth round. So I mentioned we need some help on defensive line. So that kind of goes to my next pick here. With our sixth round pick, we took Northern Iowa edge rusher Ellerson Smith. I really, really like Ellerson Smith. He's a sack machine. He had over 12 sacks this past season he played. He's all over the field. If he played at a bigger school, he would be, on draft boards much, much higher, which I really don't get, because Trey Lance is going to be a top 10, top 15 pick. And, he's playing the same competition that Ellerson Smith is playing. Ellerson Smith, he's playing against guys like Dillon Radunz from North Dakota State. So I really don't understand why Ellerson Smith could be so far in the draft. But I would absolutely love if we got him, because, Carl Lawson's a free agent. It's not a guarantee that we, re-sign him. Let's say we sign Carl Lawson. We still have no edge rushers either. I mean, we have, defensive ends. We have Sam Hubbard, but he's playing through injury this past season. Didn't really play good. And 1 year from now, around this time, Sam Hubbard will be a free agent. So, I mean, the only guy under contract you have for next season, a year from now, is, not really anybody. You have to sign Lawson. That's a must. And even if you sign him, you're still in a really difficult predicament because with Sam Hubbard, you don't know if you're going to re-sign him. As of right now, I really don't think we would. He's been good, but he's also been inconsistent as well. And I think we're going to need that money for other positions. I wouldn't be surprised here if we went edge rusher earlier in the draft. Somebody I really like is Patrick Jones, the edge rusher from Pittsburgh, maybe in the second. I know that might be kind of early, a couple of weeks ago, but he had really nice, Senior Bowl and everything. He was jumping up draft boards. But I think edge rusher is a bigger need, and I wouldn't be surprised here if we went edge rusher earlier. But I really like Ellerson Smith in the 6th round. With our first pick in the 7th round, we take Dez Fitzpatrick, the wide receiver from Louisville. I think this is a more, depth pick for a wide receiver. He's a really good Senior Bowl practice and Senior Bowl game. I think this is a possible, draft target, but his draft stock's going up quite a bit. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was picked earlier than this. But I think I don't think he's going to be, some star for us. But you look at some later round picks that we've had at wide receiver. Marvin Jones was a 5th round pick. TJ Houshmandzadeh was a 7th round pick. Auden Tate was a 7th round pick. We've had some really big hits through wide receivers throughout the years in the final rounds of the draft. So Dez Fitzpatrick, the wide receiver from Louisville, with the 7th round, and our final pick of the draft in the 7th round, we take quarterback from Arkansas, Felipe Franks. And I know some people may want us, signing a quarterback from free agency. I would like that as well, but realistically, I think, drafting a quarterback is probably more likely going to happen. There's a couple of quarterbacks I like here. I do like Franks. He has limited potential, I think, but I also like Ian Book from Notre Dame as well. Felipe Franks, though, he reminds me a lot of former Bengal quarterback Jeff Driscoll. He's really, really mobile. He's really athletic. He has a big arm, but his arm strength, it's really, his arm though is not really accurate. He's mobile. He's a bigger guy. He's fun to watch, but he's more of an athlete than an actual quarterback. Really similar to when we had Jeff Driscoll play. When Andy Dalton got injured. But I like Felipe Franks here in the 7th. It's a low risk, decent reward. If this pick here doesn't work out, it's not like it's not like it's a 1st round pick and it's a bust and it was just a horrible pick. It's a 7th round pick. It's not like, we're wasting a huge opportunity to get somebody great. But Frank's here in the 7th. If we sign him, draft him, maybe he can compete with Finley for the 2nd spot. Who knows? But Brandon Allen, him being a free agent, he started some games for us. After Joe Burrow got injured, I wouldn't really be surprised if we re-signed him. But that's really the only guy I think we would sign as a quarterback. If we don't re-sign Brandon Allen, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we went a quarterback in the 7th round. So that was kind of the Bengals 7th round mock draft. I will go through these picks again here. So with the 1st round pick, we take Jamar Chase. 2nd round pick, we take Wyatt Davis. 3rd round pick, we take Dillon Radunz from North Dakota State, the offensive tackle. Michigan cornerback Ambry Thomas in the 4th round. In the 5th round, we take Marvin Wilson, the defensive tackle from Florida State. In the 6th round, we take edge rusher from Northern Iowa, Ellerson Smith. In the 7th round, we take wide receiver Des Fitzpatrick from Louisville. And the 7th round pick, our final pick of the draft, we take Arkansas quarterback Felipe Franks. Thank you all so much for listening. So I know I want to do Bengal mock drafts on Sundays. I want to keep doing them, but I did this one because I'm doing a series where I do a mock draft of every single team. Just did the Falcons earlier today, and next up will be the Philadelphia Eagles. Thank you all so much for listening. If you're going to like this video, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports 2 Show.